Okay, we're back setting up your store part 2, all right, where we're going to just continue and get right into setting up your store based on the theme and what theme you want to have. Now, you're going to see on this store I played around with quite a few themes, okay? These themes that you see here are all just paid themes that I have access to, but you do not need to have access to a paid theme to get this to work. I'm going to cover both ideas here of what you can do with your theme, okay? So you can see down here, when you log in, you'll probably have something called the debut theme that's set up, and it's just like one of Shopify's basic free themes. And they have a whole theme store. So you can click this here, and you can see free themes that Shopify has out of the box. Like I said, that are some of these are actually pretty good. Venture is a good free theme that you can use. Jumpstart is a good free theme if you are just doing like a one product store. Debut is actually not a bad theme for like having multiple products. Supply, same thing. Brooklyn is a good theme as well. A lot of people use the Brooklyn theme. All right, here's what you want to focus on mainly, okay? So like you can put in a free theme. Basically when you switch themes, like say for example, let's put in Brooklyn. I'm going to put in a couple of the free themes just so you guys can see. So I can make it make sense, I guess, at the benefit of just spending a couple minutes showing you the differences. So I don't just tell you the options, but I can also help you see like the different options that may be available to you. Let's just pick 3 that I've used before and I think are decent themes. All right, so a couple things now, just in general. Before we even get started talking about these, just in general, looking at a theme, okay? Now, one thing that you want to remember is this is on desktop, all right? So what your theme looks like on mobile matters, but we'll talk about that more in a couple minutes. On desktop, a few things I want to point out. Number 1, a search bar, okay? You want that. You want to have a search bar in your header because it's a great thing. Most stores that you see that are doing well are going to have some of them just have like this little thing. So I won't say that it's necessary 100%, but you want to have like some kind of search bar that people can access pretty easily as part of your store, because it will help conversions. All right. Now, if you're going really niche, maybe you don't need it, but if you're going with like a general store that sells a lot of different things, it's definitely worth having. Like you can see they don't have it, I guess because they feel they don't have enough items on here to actually, make it make sense, because they only have, Boom by Cindy Joseph only has like 4 items. Okay. Much more than 4. I don't know why they don't have a search bar, honestly, but they do well, so I guess it works for them. But you can see they have one as well, though. I would recommend going with a theme that has a search bar, okay? So, other than that, we already talked about the menu layout. Now, your homepage layout, you can see there's a couple options. Like if you're going for a general type store that just sells a lot of items, then something like this can work, where you're just basically using your homepage to display your items, which is what you'll see a lot of the time. Some of these themes also have like, a big header at the top. This is the Brooklyn theme, by the way, what Sugar and Cotton uses. So they have like their big header at the top, and then they show their collections and items, right? So basically they're just selling on their homepage, and they have a small blurb about them at the bottom. Really simple setup. Inspire, Uplift, same thing. We looked at I think we're still on their homepage. They have a lot. They have this big map at the top. They didn't used to have. They used to have just like a big banner. And then they have their collections, their different categories on their store, most popular items, and then the customer reviews at the bottom of their theme. Okay, and then this reasons to buy from us thing. Gear Bunch has a really cool banner with clickable links in it at the top, and then same thing. They show best-selling items, new releases, and a quick blurb, like an About Us blurb about their store. And then Boom by Cindy Joseph They have a slider at the top with their, and then like some reviews and testimonials. They are really simple on their homepage. Oh, and then they have their Instagram account linked in, and then a view our products link so that people can view. So basically your homepage is meant to kind of showcase your business. All right. You should have some, you can go like with the approach here, this store was simply set up to sell products and to create like a case study. So there wasn't too much branding done on the homepage. It's just shop, here's the categories you have, here's some of the best selling categories, and then the footer, right? And that works actually, because it's just all focused on selling. But the other approach you can take is to not just focus on selling, but also focus on like creating some branding on there as well. If you don't have an Instagram page, you don't have like some cool tech, then you won't be able to do this, but you could still showcase a little bit about yourself, like Sugar and Cotton does, where they have this big cool image, they have a tagline, and then they have their collections and featured products, right? And then just a quick blurb about them at the bottom. Okay, you could copy a similar format to that. All right. And so I would, Inspire Uplift's a little bit more complicated. I would stay away from them as an example. Gear Bunch is a good example too of something you can do with just your best-selling collections and items, and then a blurb about who you are at the bottom. Very similar to what Sugar and Cotton does, just much more bright and dynamic. Let's close them too for now. So that's kind of the idea of the homepage. All right, from a look at this side of it, right? When you are also in here, okay, so when you go to customize, you're going to see that based on the theme that you select, you have different options for customizing the homepage. All right, so like you'll see on here on your theme, so here's homepage, and here's the options that we have. We can, for this one, you have options to choose from different things. And so if I wanted to put a slideshow at the top, that's not how I would do it. Hold on. If I wanted to put a slideshow at the top, I would switch the top function to be slideshow. All right. And then it's going to have that. But now here's what I need to do is I have my homepage slideshow section. So here's where I would come in and I would select an image. And maybe they have replace. Hold on. So if I go to replace, oh, it doesn't have any actual stock images. Okay. Sometimes they have stock images that you can use as well. I guess this one's not letting me use any stock images. That's cool. So anyway, if I wanted to put some type of image in here in the slideshow, let me just find an example. All right, if I wanted to put an image in here, then this is where I would do it. It's not working. Maybe this isn't formatted for it correctly. Okay, well, forget it, because I'm not doing it anyway, but you get the idea. That's where I would put the image in. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of, with this theme, that's how you customize it. Like the homepage, you select your 4 sections here, and then underneath, you choose what you want to show in those sections. So like this is the collection row, and I choose what collections I want to show in the collections row. And I could add more rows per collection if I wanted to, or whatever I wanted to do. Featured collections here, featured content if I want to choose a page to so say for example on the home page, so I was doing what was it, featured collections, right? Right, so there's my featured collections. Now say I wanted to also feature content at the bottom like some of these other stores are doing, then I could come here, I could go to featured content, select a page, select my About Us page. Or even better, I could do the Why Buy From Us page. So now I have this at the bottom of my home page, right? And that's actually probably a little bit better because a buy with confidence program, low price, safe worldwide shipping, 100% secured payments. So now that's right on the home page to add some extra content. So that's pretty cool, right? And I can save that. Now, the other thing you want to be aware about as you're going through and and editing your theme is switching between the mobile view, okay? Because one of the biggest things that can matter, depending on the theme that you choose, is how it looks on mobile. It could look it will look completely different. All of these look completely different on mobile than they do on desktop, right? So if I go to inspect right here, right, and I have it set to iPhone 6, 7, 8, it's going to shrink it to show me what the site looks like on mobile. And so you wanna have an idea of what your homepage looks like on mobile as well as what it looks like on desktop. And Shopify lets you switch between them here and there. And so you can see on mobile, this is a pretty good page. It looks really clean. Footer at the bottom. So menu at the top, see what your menu looks like on mobile. Search bar still right there, and then cart link at the top as well. Okay, we're still just talking about the homepage right now. All right, you can see there's a lot of stuff that you want to edit. Here's in your header. Every theme will have a header section where you can choose your logo, set how wide you want your logo to be, use a custom favicon you can use, right? And some of them will have an example of where you can put a message, and this would be like where you might say like free shipping orders over $29.95. And it would put that message in there somewhere. It might not be doing, it looks like it added it, but maybe because I have the text color set different. I don't know. Why is it not showing up? Too many characters? Well, anyway, usually the message then would be whatever shows up top here. The theme's messed up right now. I don't use the message anyway. Some stores do. But enable breadcrumbs is this stuff here when like you are when you're for example, if I click on the button, header, oh, my theme is just not working, but usually this is where the breadcrumb would show up. I don't know why it's not. But anyway, I'm just I'm just trying to let you guys know what parts are what, but it's going to be different again based on every theme, right? Whether there's breadcrumbs or not breadcrumbs or custom logo. So you can see the way this one is set up. Header has its own section. Footer has its own section. This is where you select the menus too, right? Well, no, it'll automatically select your main menu for the header. Footer is where you select what footer menu you want to show up, where you put your contact info in. I choose not to show social media icons, but this is where you could show them if you wanted to, and it would pop them in somewhere in here. And then newsletter sign up, right? Newsletter sign up. You can hide the powered by Shopify. It's not working right now, but newsletter sign up as well is this button here. All right, and so then I'm going to show you now. Let's go to one of the free themes. I'm not going to save any of that because I don't care. And I'll just show you like based on the differences of what it will look like. All right, so if we go to the Brooklyn theme and we click customize. So it'll be automatically set up by default as the way you saw like Sugar and Cotton was set up. And then you just are going in and filling it all in, right? So slideshow, here's where you'll come in and you can select, so they do have the free images available for this, right? And so based on whatever you're doing, it'll show you. And Shopify's images are really good because they look good on both mobile and desktop, right? You need to make sure you choose an image if you use a slider that looks good on both mobile and desktop, all right? And you can select as many slides as you want. You can add slides. You can put links in the slides for these buttons that are on there. Put whatever text you want in there, all right? So that's like how the Brooklyn theme works. Header, of course, this is where you'll select your main stuff. So this is where I would put my logo in here. Homepage logo gives you, this will be like the site-wide logo, and if you want to put a different one on the homepage, because the homepage shows up with a background, right? When I'm on different pages, you might want your logo to look different. Okay, well, there's... Oh, the link's not working because I don't have anything set up in here. Okay, so you might want your logo to look different here on the white background when it's not, you know. This is a really good header, right? Because it's a skinny logo all the way at the top with the cart and the menu button that pops out. So that's a good example of a logo, or I'm sorry, of a layout because of that. You want to have a skinny header so that when you're on the mobile page, you can see the product image up and close. You can see the title of the product right in there. And it makes a lot of sense scrolling, right? So I could put in the logo here and size it to fit. You can see when I click to be on a product page, then it gives me different options for editing the product page. Enable product sharing if I wanted to, which is this at the bottom, right? I can take that off. I would keep all of this off. There's no reason for product sharing. There's no reason, I mean, you can put the image zoom on if you want to. There's no reason to show the product vendor because it'll be like whatever you imported it in from. Image display is for desktop. Stacked images is how it does it if you do it that way. I don't like stacked images. So you can do thumbnails, I think makes a little bit more sense with the thumbnails underneath the main image. Quantity picker, right, which will give them an option to select quantity. You should definitely do that. Add to cart button, keep it as the add to cart button. They have this dynamic one where buy it now, add to cart. I think that makes it confusing for people, so I would just keep it as the add to cart button, and I would make the size large, right, so that it goes across the whole thing. And on mobile, it goes across the whole thing and it looks better, okay? So these are basic things that you can customize inside the product page. We're on the product page now. So you can... And then there's theme settings. So you see there's a lot of different settings to come in here and look at. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me go back to the home page because that's what we were on. All right, so on the home page, this is where you'll walk through and plug and play whatever you want. I can't tell you how to do this. I'm just trying to show you the different options available to look at it between desktop and mobile, and you know, plug and play however you want. This is like the sugar and cotton layout, so you know this layout works. You can see how they have my footer set up here with all my links. They split it up. Here's where you can select your footer. They have the footer menu in there, payment icons, so all good. And then these are all my homepage sections, from slideshow to rich text here where you can talk about your brand, collection list here. If I wanted to change this, right, I would just select my collections that I wanted to put in there. I could add collections if I wanted to, of course. Comes with my featured collection that I want to show. Whatever is like your main category maybe that you want to sell, it'll bring up your featured collection items in there. Subscribe to the newsletter. There's more content you can add. You see they'll give you different options here of other things that you can add. So I could add image with text is like exactly as you see if like they, not them, who did it at the bottom? These guys? Yeah, this is image with text, right? Image, this is all just one image over here, as you can see. So just creating an image and then having text on the side, and then being able to have like a, you can add like a button at the bottom of it. Featured product. Map, if that's necessary. Video, if you wanted to include a video on your page. And custom HTML is for being able to put in your own HTML and format whatever you want to, okay? So those are all like your options with Brooklyn within this theme for that type of setup, okay? Now the difference I'll show you in between Brooklyn and something like Venture is basically in how the layout's going to be, right? You're still going to have access to a lot of the same stuff. The layout's still going to be pretty similar, okay? But it's just going to be different, right? So the header here, you still come in here to select your logo. They have an announcement bar as well, where you can put in a link or you can put in some text for whatever you want to do. This is going to look very similar the way that the mobile header is, but it's a lot different on desktop, right? The menu shows up underneath the logo, so it's a little different on desktop. They still have the same slides at the top, featured collections, and then like actual collections in there. So the footer is different, right? They have a footer menu. I can add content here for a newsletter. It'll put it on the side. I can change exactly what it says. The follow us links. This is where you would have to put in your social media icons. And I can put in a basic text one as well if I want to have like my support, you know, like contact support, contact us. And you can put your support email in here of whatever you want to do. And then of course you can move these around as well if you want to change the way that they're organized, right? So because based on the way they're organized, they'll show up different in the footer on mobile as well. So whatever you want people to see. The reason that this is showing up like this is because I have too many options to fit across. Otherwise it would they would just fit across. Okay. And so same type of thing, you know, like you have your main stuff that the theme comes with. Every theme has its own types of sections that you can add, all right? So this one has a little bit different. They all have the main stuff like collections, collection title. They have, this one has a logo list that you can add, which is like, you know, if you've, you know what that is for like big clients or things that you want to say that you might have been featured in. Featured product, same thing. They have that. Newsletter, same thing. They have that option as well. Link blocks is I don't use that. Image with text, same thing. They have that. Gallery is just where you could put a bunch of your own photos in if you wanted to, and then the main stuff for collection list. They have a search function that you can put in if you want to, rich text where you can talk about your brand, testimonials where you can put testimonials in, and even like if you want to have main selling points like, hey, you know, kind of like they did with Inspire Uplift where they had a satisfaction guaranteed logo and then you could write about it underneath, okay? And then also video, you can include a video on the homepage as well. So, you know, you can see, I just wanted to kind of walk, for those of you brand new, I just kind of wanted to walk you through this. We already talked about how all of these things are going to be based on the type of brand that you want. Like in the header here, or I should say in the theme settings is where you're going to change stuff like colors, okay? So what do you want your header background to be? Do you want it to be black? Do you want it to be white? You know, if your header is going to be black, the links have to, or white, then the links have to be black. You know, page background, what they're talking about here, you can see like the background, so I could change that to be pure white so that there is no background, or you could change it to be, you know, you could change it to look like this if you felt like this made more sense for your store, where you have a black background all the way through with white highlights of each section, okay? Buttons, links, and promo bars, so you can see where that changes the color for that. All of this stuff is, you know, things that we talked about where your brand identity, right? This goes back to your brand identity. One of the way that this is probably going to be set up for you is you're going to want to decide a logo first. Like what kind of overall feel do you want? With this one, I wanted it to be a very straightforward, black and white kind of simple elegance, I guess, okay, of black and white for the logo and the theme colors with gray in there as well, and then red for like the sale colors. So really, really straightforward and to the point in terms of shopping and e-commerce. Red, white, black. You can see this is the button for, that's the button that we're using for buying, a big red button. No matter what color button you use, you want to have some kind of strong contrast here. All right, so this obviously really pops compared to the rest of the colors on the page. That could be anything though, like theirs I believe is red as well. Yeah, so theirs is red. Very similar type of layout, black, white, really clean, elegant, big red button to stand out. They're a little bit more busy. On theirs, they're using a green button. So if we come here to one of these, big green button they're using, okay? So you can see though with what they're doing, very similar layout, but theirs is more colorful in the theme that they chose. They obviously wanted to go with a brighter color. They're using the black here. They have greens and they have colors included down here. So it's a little bit more vibrant of a site with what they're doing. They're using different colored logos and text within their actual product descriptions. They're using colored checkout badge right here. So again, you know, they're using more colors, right? Their logo is very simple. They're using more colors. You can see here also a simple logo. Same thing here, simple logo with an icon. You know, a logo for an e-com store doesn't necessarily need to include an image or not. It can, but it doesn't have to. Gear Bunch and Sugar and Cotton are both examples. Boom by Cindy Joseph, Inspire, Uplift, they're all store logos that don't actually include a logo. It's just like a text-based logo. So you can do that, but no matter what, you can see with all of these, the logos are professional looking, even though they're simple, right? They still look like a logo for a store, okay? So that's where you'll decide. This is where you'll start to decide all of that. You'll start to look at your colors, and you just want to play around, you know, like based on your logo. Obviously, if your logo is a dark text-based logo, then you need a white header background, right? You can't have a black header background and be using black colors in your logo. And for the most part, I would recommend a white header background for any store, okay? Footer backgrounds, I like to have like some color in the footer so you know it's the end of the site. They do an all white one, but they have a line. They do a faded kind of beige one as well. So, you know, typically, and what we do on here is a faded gray one. I like to have some kind of background color in the footer because I think it separates the site a little bit, and do a white header background. This one we used the background specifically for the menu bar that was like to separate the top and the bottom. So again, just a few different options. They're really clean, all white the whole way through. So you see that can work, or you can separate it. They have a line separating theirs at the top, like we do, and then they also have a different colored one at the bottom for the footer, right? So all different things that go into the layout, right? And again, I'm just trying to walk you through the concepts, get your mind working. There's really no right or wrong answer here. You just want to be familiar with how you customize your theme and where the options are to set the colors. Setting the typography is important, all right? You get a much different feel from this Unica 1 font than you would from this Arial fat face font, right? So there's multiple different feelings that you can get just from the font. This is an important part of your site. You want to think about the audience that you're selling to and think about the type of message and attitude that your brand is trying to create and pick the font that goes best with that. And there's a lot of fonts in here, so you might have to just scroll through and look around and decide which one works best for you. You can see on here we're using kind of a modern bold font of what we're doing. Here they're using a serif. Is it serif or sans serif? One or the other, but you know, they have the font. Okay, hold on. They do not use serifs. Okay. So Sans serif is where you don't use the lines at the end of characters. This is serif. So this is a serif font that has the little lines at the edge of the characters, right? And that's a much different feel. That's a very book style classic kind of font, right? As opposed to a modern style font like sans serif with what they're using and what we were using on here, where there is, there is no lines. It's just a bold modern kind of font. That you can use. So again, it's just a difference in what you want to present. Their basic text here then switches it up to the old Roman style, it looks like. Old times or New Roman, whatever it's called, where they are using a serif font. Which we do as well on here in the basic typeface. So again, you want to, I think that works well, actually, having like one type of bold font for all your headings, and then using maybe a different type of font for your, and then also the type of font you use in your logo. Here I wanted to use a more distinguished type of font that was a little different. Same as I think what they did here, and same as what this isn't distinguished, this is just meant to be bold. Hopefully you get what I'm saying there. The font matters in what you're going to select, right? This looks like a very book face type of font. It doesn't match with the overall really modern type of theme, I think, in my opinion, okay? So you want to start putting this together. Now, when you're getting started, you might not have any collections or products yet. So you're just kind of putting together the home page. You're making sure all your other pages look good on the theme that you're using, right? The fonts, the titles, just the overall layout of the header and the footer, right? You want to kind of make sure it all looks good on your page. Now, this looks ridiculous, of course, because I'm using the different backgrounds. Page background, content background, links, button links, promo bar. Okay, so you can see that this would look a lot more normal. Typography. Anyway, so something like that I think is much better, right? And you can just play around though and see what it looks like, right? Social media, this is where you would set your accounts if you wanted to have any accounts linked. They would pop up here as you put them in. Favicon is where you can select a favicon. That's what shows up here on your store. And then the checkout page, you can also, I would upload your logo here as well on the checkout page. It just makes it look a little bit more official. I wouldn't worry about any of the other stuff like the background images. I don't typically do any of that. So anyway, that's your theme basically, and just kind of a walkthrough of the way that you navigate it and the way that you want to start thinking about it. Now, one of the main things that matters, so far I've just talked about your pages and your home page, okay? And they matter, of course, right? And I think we've covered that in detail enough that you can figure out how you want to set up your home page and home pages. But this is an unfinished process at this point because you haven't created your collections or your products yet. We get into importing products in the next one. So really for your homepage, you want to think about whether or not you want to slide, what your logo is going to be, how you're going to set up your menu, what colors you're using, the overall site, and then the layout. Are you putting your collections in and products, and then like, are you going to have an image with text that, like an idea of what you could do here is like a big worldwide shipping thing and say we ship all over the world. And so, just based on looking at the different examples of what we looked at, like those are the type of things you want to think about for how you want to set up your homepage. And then I showed you the different sections that you can use to do that, right? And look at examples and just base it off of what you want to do. If you have a store with a lot of collections and a lot of items, then definitely go that route with lots of collections and lots of items. If you have a store that is only focused on one specific product, like let's say This is one that I helped work with somebody on, and you can see theirs is really based on just one or two products. So they have a big header at the top, right? And then they have a featured now product with a description right on their page and this and that. And then they have related items, then they have customer reviews, and then just a very simple footer with a mailing list. Okay, so your homepage is going to be based on what you are trying to create with your overall feel for your theme and for your store. There's multiple options based on the type of store you're creating. Like I said, this is one that's based on like only having a couple products, and they want to have a featured product on the front homepage. All right, and so we designed this and set this up like that. And then there's different options where they have lots of products and collections, and you can always change this as you evolve, right? You just want to decide what it is your plan is. They have the clothes and accessories, and then they have their collections, like, and then they, something very similar. So it's really going to be based on how many products you have, and what are the overall inclusions you want in there. Do you want to have some stuff? Like I said, I would do something similar to this, where you have a slider, you have collections, some featured products, maybe image with text that talks a little bit about the brand, and then your footer. And I would keep it pretty simple like that until your store starts to build, and maybe you can include in testimonials or a gallery of products, or link it to your Instagram page or whatever. I wouldn't worry about having that in the here and now. Honestly, I don't think you need it for getting a store set up, especially if you don't have much of a following at all. So yeah, you just remember, you want it to be looking as professional as possible, and the best way to do that, especially if you don't have things like testimonials and reviews and lots of content to share yet, then the best thing to do is to just have your products on the homepage, have your collections, have your products, and get it set up, make it look real professional, and then have some blurbs about your brand and maybe some extra images that just add into the overall effect of what you're trying to create, right? And so another example that I will show you of a case study store that I built is okay, this is with the Brooklyn theme. All right, and so this one is set up where we use the stock image at the top, and we use the header bar logo at the top, as you can see here. And then there's a link that goes to collections, and then we just started randomly putting out some of our shirts as like one of the featured collections in the top. Featured some of the collections here, and then we did some image with text, made for happy couples, forever in love, big newsletter sign up here, and then the image with text at the bottom as well. That's just the logo. This is the Brooklyn theme, okay? So I set this all up just same way you can set it up, with not even that many products that are featured here in the top, and then the featured collections, and then again the image with text idea. This one includes an actual button, and this one is just something here. And then this is just like an ending thing that talks about how they can reach us and shop with confidence, plus worldwide shipping and 100% satisfaction guarantee. And then like follow us logos, and then footer logos, right? So a different type of setup. Anyway, so I'm not even going to go into that anymore, because I think we've covered it enough, all right? And I don't want this to be too redundant. I'm sure you guys can kind of figure this out from this point. So like I said, with that one that we just looked at, that was the Brooklyn theme. This is the Venture theme you can use to set it up. The debut theme is similar, but it's going to come down mostly to where we're going to finish is a lot how your product page looks, because that's where you're sending people when you're running traffic, is to your product page. So you may have to add just a basic test product to figure this out, right? You can come in here, you can add product, and all you have to do is just put in the basics of whatever you want to do. just to give yourself something, because if you don't have an actual product on your store when you get started, you're not going to be able to actually see what your product page would look like on that theme. And that's one of the main things that you're going to need to see. So you can just come in here, fill in like test paragraph. You can upload any image. It doesn't even matter. So I'll just upload an image of myself here. All right, now when you're in here, okay, couple things to remember. The tags over here, okay, here's collections. This is where you're going to tag people, okay, based on, okay, let me just go through, okay. Title, description, obviously, where you can either upload images or not. We're going to go over products a little bit more in the next one, where you can set the price, weight, we already talked about that, and where you can set variants. But tags over here is where you can tag it based on the type of item that it is. And you can put your tags in there, and then I don't know why it's saying no collections available to add, because I do have collections. That must be fault. But anyway, let's just save the test product for now. And it automatically put it into a collection for me. All right, I'm going to cover that more when we get to that. But now what I can do is, if I didn't have a product already, which you guys may not, at least I can come here, and we're going to talk about the product page, okay? So at least that I can come here, and let's go back to one of our sample things. So once you have a product, you can at least find your product on here and then open your product to see what the product page looks like, right? Because this is going to be an important part of what you're doing. You want to make sure your product page is set up to look good, and you'll be able to edit. When you're actually on your product page over here, you'll be able to click on product page and see what options your theme has available. Some themes don't have much available, like this one. Like I said, I usually take product sharing off. Show dynamic checkout button I leave alone. I don't care about stock when less than 10. Stay on current page when item is added to cart. No, I want them to go to the cart page when item is added to cart. All right, so those are the only options for this theme, okay? Obviously, my description will come in here. My price will be here. And so those are the options that I have in this theme. If I go to Brooklyn, oh, now it's showing up here. It was just slow earlier. Anyway, if I come here to Brooklyn, same thing, type in test and search for this product, and then open up my product page. Again, you'll see my options of what I can do here. Enable product sharing, enable image zoom, show product vendor. I don't do any of this. This is how I would set it up. Quantity picker, yes. And like I said already here, large add to cart button. All right, so you don't get many options, but this is why, and where it's really most important is on your actual mobile display, because when we get the traffic, you're going to see most people come from mobile to look at your store. And so you want to make sure that it looks good on mobile, right? Skinny header, big product image. This is why Brooklyn looks great on mobile. You can see the title, the image, and the price all within this without even having to scroll down, and that's really good. And then there's your quantity, add the cart button, description, and then stuff at the bottom. All right, so now some example product pages of things that look good. Okay, one thing you're going to notice on these pages I don't really like this. I think this is really, really busy up top here. This add to cart button is interesting. They have it above the image. That's very custom, but I wouldn't worry about that. I actually think that's kind of messy. I don't know. See, they're using Brooklyn, and that's obviously same thing. Theirs shows up item image, head or title, price, big add to cart button. Now, one thing you'll notice that you can include on your product pages. Here's the description, of course. Here's where they talk about extremely high demand, expect 2 to 4 weeks to arrive. The only reason they say that is not because high demand, but because they're drop shipping. So that gives you an idea of something you can do. They put a calls in there, and then they have their related items at the bottom and such. Okay. Looking at it from here, product image, title, price. Okay. Big add to cart button with the sizes, and then you also see this checkout badge underneath, and then they have a really in-depth product description, okay, how we create your item. They even have an image or a video that shows the item process of creation, and then another add to cart button, and then related items. So these themes are a little bit more complex, right? It looks really good. They have an add to cart button 3 times on their page, which I think is a little ridiculous. But this is a paid theme, right? You're not going to get this unless you're paying for a theme. But some notes of what they do well here is that they have a really good description, dynamic description that talks about made in USA, benefits of soft legging, 4-way stretch, 100% squat proof for girls that work out, super elastic waistband, and then they have their sizes, and then they even have a video, okay? And then they have the add to cart button again. So this is an amazing product description. I don't necessarily agree with the way they're doing their header and their add to cart button up top here, and then having the add to cart button again at the bottom is great, but and then related items as well. So their theme is complex. It's busy. They've got a lot going on, but it's good, right? Whereas their theme is much more simple. They're using, this is an app. We'll talk about this. They're using image and then title, add to cart button. They have this checkout badge here, short description, and then some badges down here that talk about some of the benefits: free shipping, free and easy returns, safe and secure checkout, and then related items with a simple thing at the bottom. Here, our header is a little bit different. I actually don't prefer this type of header on mobile, but it still works for me because we fit the image, the title, and the price all within the top, which is good. And then they also, I like this, they see how much they save. This is where they can select color, quantity, big get it now button with the option for some of this. And then we have a pretty in-depth description as well with like a main headline here: never have a bad hair day again. Pictures, description, GIFs that are in there that shows how it works, before and after, product specifications. It should be showing related items down here at the bottom, which it's not right now. It shows it on desktop for some reason. I don't know why it's not showing it on mobile. And then also down here at the bottom, okay? So now a couple things I want to point out on the product page. Basically, the universal stuff that is working across every product page is, you can see headline, price, if it's on sale, showing the sale, right, in a different color. Quantity selector, big button with a trust badge, all right, with a big good image next to it. These are like the universal truths across each one. Image, big title, and most of your themes are going to help you set up this way by default. But what I need to show you how to do is how to set this up. This image that's in here is not something that comes by default, okay? It's something that you have to add in. This is added in, right? They have 2 separate images added in here. It's not part of the Brooklyn theme. This is a custom app, which I'll talk about later. This is a custom app, which I'll talk about later. Same thing as this, also a custom app. Like, not all of this is by default. A lot of this is custom created, but like this is automatically, they added this in themselves to their own product description. Same thing here. You can add these images in and do all of that. But I'm going to show you some of that. This is the one that we use in gray here underneath. and I'm going to show you how you add a button, or how you add a checkout badge right underneath your add to cart button, because that you can clearly see is a main common denominator across every store that the themes don't automatically come with. You have to add that in yourself, and then you can create a really good product description without needing all these extra bells and whistles, honestly, just like they do here. Good product description without a bunch of bells and whistles. And then at the bottom, having your related items. Okay, we're going to talk about all of this now. So, well, some of it we're going to talk about in apps in the next video. But here's what I want to talk about and focus on now, how you can add this. Now, it requires custom coding, but you can follow instructions and do it on your own, or you can have somebody else do it for you. All right, but here's how it goes. When you're in your theme, there's an action for edit code. Now, all the codes are going to be different based on whether it's a free theme or a paid theme. This is a paid theme called ThemeX. All right, so what you will look at is basically you're trying to find the product page, okay? So you'll see here under templates, there's one called product.liquid, okay? Actually, let me do this in the free theme, okay? Because it doesn't make... So, all right, let me... Here... Before we get into that, let me cover one more thing. Okay, and the one more thing that I want to cover is that a lot of these paid themes, and I'm going to recommend the paid theme as part of this module. There will be a link underneath this module for a really good paid theme called the Turbo theme. Or the booster theme, which I don't have installed here, but it's a really great theme that does a lot of these options for you. And it's very similar to this one, and I just found out about it, and I'm using it on a different store, and I know it works really well and converts well, and so I'm going to include it in the option of a paid theme, right? It costs money, but I have a special discount for it, and so it's something that you might be interested in, because here's the way that I look at it, right? Is that free themes are fine and they're great and you can make them work for sure, but they're harder to customize. A lot of these paid themes can already come with a lot of customization options in it for you, so that you don't have to worry about it. So like if I come to this item, for example, we're looking at our product page. So I come here to product page. You can see they have a ton of options here for me to show different things. So I can show the saved amount automatically by clicking this yes or no. I can show the compare at price, show related products, which for some reason, like I said, enable thumbnails on mobile. Maybe that's not why. Oh, that's the thumbnails up there. I don't want that. Okay, enable product description. I can enable read more as an option if I want my product description to be like a certain amount and then they have to click more to see it. Move description to bottom, yes. So you see all these different options that they give me. Enable credit card badges, enable secure badges. So these credit card badges come built in where I can have them there like that. I have more badges I can enable if I want to, secure badges that go in there like that. And so there's multiple things that I can do to automatically customize and edit my product page. I can include a message. Right, only 8 left at this price, and then I can include a timer and a timer cookie. So the cookie means that it'll automatically check if somebody comes to this page so that the timer stays the same. Yeah, and I can even change the add to cart button to skip the cart and go right to checkout, or change what it says from add to cart to get it now. I can add another one at the bottom underneath the product description for get it now, right? and I can even enable upsell apps. So because I paid for this theme, there's a lot more customization options that are built right into it. The theme that I recommend is one of the best themes that has so many customization options built right into it, and has really nice design, really good at converting. And so you'll be able to get in and just kind of mess around and see what looks good when you're on your product page. And this is going to require some testing because it's based on the niche. So you can see here, a lot of stores use something like that for having some type of countdown timer. They're not doing a sale. They're just doing in stock, right? They're saying free tank top with every pair of leggings ends. They're actually running a real sale here, I think. They're just running this on like every page basically, where it's just saying, hurry, only so much left in stock, kind of as a scarcity thing to get people to make an impulse decision more. 5 left at this price, so those can be good things to include. And then you can include the button at the bottom even, as well, but there's other apps for this as well if you don't have a theme that does this, so that's fine. I don't usually actually even include this. Okay, and so yeah, so that's how you can basically use a theme to have these customization options built in. That's the advantage of a paid theme. A lot of the paid themes have more customization options for your product page to make it look how you want. All right. Now, if you're using a free theme, like Brooklyn, for example, and you still want to have those same types of, those same types of trust badges, right? So what you're going to want to do is come in to edit code. In the edit code section, you want to look for your product.liquid page. All right, and so here it says contents can be found in sections, product-template. Okay, so I come here to sections, product-template. We're looking for the product template page. This is my template for my whole product, every product page on my store. All right, I don't want to mess with most of this, but here's what I want to look for. Scrolling down, and I haven't done this before, so I'm going to do it with you right now. I haven't already done it on this particular theme, so I'll show you where it is. What you're looking for is where it talks about the description, because it's going to use names. Like here you can see it's talking about the title, okay, product title. So we're not there yet. Here it's talking about the compare at price. And you know where it is in the page because you know where these things are on the page, right? I know where it shows the price on the page, so I'm still at the top. Here's the add to cart form, so that's talking about the button, right? That's talking about my add to cart button, so I'm not where I want to be yet, but I want to be right under that because you remember, this is your add to cart form, this is your button. All these images, these trust images are right underneath that button, okay? So what I want to do then is get to the final section and find out where the product description is, right? Right here. This space in between right here is this space right here, okay? Here's my product description, here's my button, here's the space in between, right? It's like that on every single store. So once you find that space in between, then that's where you know in your theme that you can add stuff, all right? So I'll just create a space here, and I know what I want to add. All right, I want to add a checkout security badge like what you see here, okay? Now, you could go to a site and just save the image that they have, right? Just save it right to your computer. You could come to Google and type in something like checkout badges, right? And if you type in checkout badges, you're going to get all of these images. And you kind of want to pick one that goes with your theme here. There's a couple things you want to think about. Number one, you don't want something like this that's so crazy over the top. Like that many checkout badges is throwing up a red flag, right? This is a really popular one that works for a lot of stores, but now it's kind of common out there. A lot of people have this logo layout here. So you don't want to stack too much. Like some of these that I think are kind of crazy. You can even see the site that it comes from, where Google's pulling this from, so you can look at. You can even do some more research and see what trust seals are recognized the most by certain themes that are out there, like Norton, McAfee, Trusty. Don't lie, right? Don't use a Better Business Bureau stamp if you're not actually an accredited Better Business Bureau. But you can use the McAfee, the Trusty, the Norton, because you're on the Shopify payment processor. And those things are true, that you are guaranteed and you are secure checkout option with Shopify payments, right? So you just want to make sure that you find something. I like something like simple like this, I think, that has like a, or you could switch it in with the Norton one. If you're not a Google trusted store, don't use it, right? So anyway, just look around at different stores. We already went through the market and niche research phase, so you know how to find stores and look at stores, and you just want to see one that is good, right? That looks good, but it's not too over the top, right? Like they have one right here, very similar to this, or very similar to this, that you can use. And so you'll download the image, right? And then I'm going to include the text for this. But basically, I have this all set up already, where if I come into where are the trust badges? Oh, here we go, trust badges. All right, so I have this all set up already for the security stamp HTML notes. So basically, what you're going to do is first you need to decide what one you want to use, and you're going to upload that asset, okay? Here's the assets. You're going to add a new asset in here, and whatever one you just downloaded that you want to use, that's what you're going to upload. So payment options, that's the asset I'm going to upload. Now, when I do that, this will actually have a link, right? Because it's uploaded to my store, so it has to have its own link, and that's how we're going to open image in new tab, and this is how we're going to get this image link for our store. Delete everything after the question mark. You don't need this part after the question mark. I just need the image, okay? So now I have my image link, all right? Remember that part. Now what you're going to do in here, as it says, so you want to get that picture link and put it there. So let me grab my picture link. Okay, so let me grab my picture link and then post it here. All right, so now I have my picture link. Everything else is done for you already. Insert picture link in the HTML code. So you see right here where it says image source and then has the quotations. Basically, you take this link that we just got and you paste it right here. You don't have to worry about anything else, all right? The other stuff that's in there is already there, and it's good, okay? So now you have the completed link, okay? You don't even need this section, because basically all you need to do is, next section is copy and paste. Okay, so you're going to copy and paste the completed link from above, and then you're going to follow and put that into the area that you want, right? So that's how simple it is. You get your image link, put it in there, and then you're going to come back in here now. You're going to come to your product template.liquid, and you're going to paste that right in there. Okay, now I save. And now I can preview this. I have to find my product page, right? So let me find this thing here. All right, and then you can see right there, it installed it in there. Okay, so that's how simple it is. All you have to do is use that notepad that I gave you, and then that's how you can install that there. If you want to install more things on your store, it's the same exact principle. You just need to find the area in the code where you want to install it, and then manually put it in there with the same exact link. So that is the link that I gave you, is the link for adding an image into your store at any point, right? So this right here, where you upload the asset, get the link, and then you put it inside here. Okay, you don't even need this section either. You don't even need the alt secured, whatever it is. So you just take it here and put it inside the image source. All right, and then it's going to put that right in there for you. Okay, so there are other ways that you can do this, and we're going to talk about that in the basic store conversion. All right, where you can add something like this to your cart page as well, to dress up your cart page, or add images to different places if you want to do that. But basically, that's your basic setup of your theme that you need to get started, of looking at the different types of themes available that are free. You can do your own searches for free or paid Shopify themes if you want to, which like I said, I'm going to say it like this. A paid Shopify theme is good. It's just not necessary. Okay. But yeah, are they a little better? Probably in most cases. Yeah. But it's not necessary to get started. But I am going to include the link to a great paid theme that you can get with a discount as part of this lesson. I'm also going to include the link for, not the link, I'm going to include the text pad for this as well, for installing your own trust badges if you use a free theme. And then everything else in between here where we talked about just setup and style and navigating your theme and how to get it all looking good, adding a test product so you can see what your product page looks like. That's all just going to take some time and effort, and just going through, playing around, looking at some other stores that are out there, and just thinking about your audience, right? Thinking about your audience and what you think they will respond well to, and just keeping it simple. If you follow the template in the outline I gave you here, keep it simple, make it look good, you'll be all right. Just remember, everything's coming from your brand identity. So the colors you choose, the logo, it all has to make sense with your overall brand identity. If you're going to be like Gear Bunch, bright and colorful, then you want to choose colors and fonts to match that. If you're going to be like Sugar and Cotton, you're going to be very like subdued and serious, then you need to pick colors and fonts to match that. All right. And so you want to create a personality here. You want to create an actual identity. And if you've been following along with the training, it really shouldn't be that confusing. It should be a natural progression for everything we've already gone over, for you to start putting it all together in place right now to get everything set up and designed. Okay. There are There are places that you can outsource this for payments, where you can get somebody to custom build you a theme. In some of the higher level programs that we offer with My Ecom Education, we actually just build a store for you with a completely custom theme, paid theme, and have a team build it for you. So there are other options based on what you're willing to invest. But again, there's nothing wrong with getting started with a free theme and just customizing it a little, just making it look good, because at the end of the day, it's really about the products. But when you want to start really focusing on building a brand and something long term is when you want to invest in a theme and start really investing in having something unique and to yourself. All right, so that's everything for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to look at apps, and then we're going to finish off this module by kind of touching back on some basic conversion point stuff. But we already went over some basic conversion rate stuff in here as well. So I just want to make sure this entire training is really in-depth as possible for you. So at this point, there are some things that will make more sense in the next page or the next lesson when we look at some of the apps that will explain why these stores look the way they do. With, like, for example, with these countdown timers and stuff that people have. But at the end of the day, right now, before you go to the next one, you want to have your store set up. This isn't going to just take the amount of time, 2 videos, an hour each. It's going to take you more than 2 hours, right? And you're going to have to get a logo designed and test the colors out a little bit. And then the next part is going to be where you start adding a lot of products to your store. I suggest having at least 10 to 15 products, unless you're just going with a one product store. But I suggest having at least 10 to 15 products. So you're going to want to start adding your products and creating your product descriptions, which is why these two modules really go together, 3 and 4, because we're setting up your whole store now and getting all the guts in place and making it look good and kind of creating your brand identity and bringing it to life on screen, and focusing on the apps that you need to keep your store running in the next lesson, and then some of the conversion rate stuff you need to think about to close it off. And then we're going to start adding products and filling your store up with products, which is going to make it look like a complete store, and which is where you're going to start adding like your descriptions and your related products and that kind of stuff as well. Okay, so it all goes together. We're working through a process here, but at least at this point, you want to have your theme mostly set up and ready to go, other than apps and other than products, before moving on. And you set up that test product like I showed you as a way that you can at least see what your product page will look like, and start getting a good idea for that. All right, and so when you're ready and you have this stuff accomplished and ready to go, then I will see you in the next lesson.